Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for cash tags. For that, let's bring in our next guest. That's going to be Andy Swan. He's a co-founder of Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Thank you.
All right, so spectacular run here for Uber so far this year, as I mentioned, up 50%, but maybe they should be. Revenue last quarter up 18%, gross bookings up 17%, monthly active platform users up 15%. So maybe the stock should be at or near all-time highs. Do you have, the data that kind of supports a move we've seen this year?
Yeah, we've had the data on Uber to support this move. This is a move we've been anticipating, for quite a while. Been bullish on Uber. I think we've talked on this show many times about the networks effects that Uber has, the big advantages that it has, and then kind of that binary bet of whether they'll be able to get to autonomous vehicles, remove the driver, put profit margins extremely high, be able to lower their prices to consumers, and just kind of overall transform the entire mobility and delivery market. And Uber's in a phenomenal place to do that. The thing that gives me some pause now, after we've seen an enormous rise in the stock, that we've all benefited from, is now we're starting to see some real indications that Uber's moat is starting to starting to be threatened. They're getting very competent competitors from a lot of different angles. Uber's app usage is good, the growth is good, but when we compare it to competitors like Shipt, DoorDash, even Lyft, at this point, it just seems like we're really seeing that what Uber's strategic advantage was, which was that kind of last mile logistics, is more repeatable and more replicable by competitors than it was 3 or 4 years ago. And you can really see it when you look at the chart of Waymo active users. That is up 84% year over year. This is Google's autonomous vehicle, autonomous taxi. Extreme growth, that kind of hockey stick growth that we initially saw out of Uber. And then I expect that this Waymo hockey stick growth will continue. And I expect that Tesla will be able to replicate that in 2026 or 2027. So at some point, the question becomes, what is Uber's big strategic advantage? Are they going to be able to, get into the partnerships that they need? Their CEO, I believe, is famous for saying everybody's either a competitor or a partner. So they're going to need partners because the competitors are coming very hard. And these are real, very large companies that have figured out the logistics side of things. And so, we love Uber. We think it's a fantastic company, but, up 50% on the year while competition is truly heating up from all angles, gives us a little bit of pause.
Andy, there was worries about their future a while ago when Elon Musk made the comment about that we don't really need Uber. And there was some doubts on what their role is. Now the news comes out, they're working with 20 robo-taxi partners globally. And that starts to melt away some of the fears, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the drivers. It means,
right.
I've always said this, their golden goose appears to be the app and how they connect the public to the drivers and the efficiency and how well that run that app is. I don't know the future of this company. I have no idea of the future of mobility. I don't think any of us do. But that app has got to be worth a bunch when these new companies that are working on everything else may not be working on that app. And now that Waymo announced they're using it, and now 20 other partners, you're right, they need partners. I don't think we want Uber to have to start buying a fleet of cars. But
right.
That app, that asset light model that they have, that's got to be the future for them. And it looks at least not assured. No one knows what the future is, but it looks less in doubt than it did before, I think, before all these partnerships arose. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the app and that user experience is critical And it's the one thing that a lot of these companies, you could build a car that drives itself, but it's very hard to build a network of millions of people that pull up the app to get that car to come to them. On the other hand, one of the things that we've seen with Uber is that it is susceptible to competition, and that ultimately people flock towards or gravitate towards whatever experience gets them from A to B, or gets their product that they want from where it is to where they are, the cheapest and the fastest, a lot like airlines. And so, you could see an aggregator app coming out at some point. I'm a little worried that all these partnerships, effectively serve as a Trojan horse for one winner to come out of this, or two winners, and it could be Tesla, it could be Waymo. The problem is, Uber does not control its destiny as much as we used to think. And so DoorDash, Shipped, and all of these kind of prove that the customer isn't as loyal to the app, I think, as we would have liked to have thought a few years ago. And so I think Uber's in for a fight. I think they're the right company to take on this fight, and they do extremely well at executing against a vision. So we're still bullish on Uber. It's getting a little cloudier as more entrants come into the field, and these are extremely competent entrants. This isn't just an upstart trying to disrupt Uber. This is Tesla. This is Google. This is some of the biggest companies in the world with very, very deep pockets and a lot of technological prowess.
20 companies involved in autonomous mobility, these partnerships that they have, Andy, including Waymo, Apollo Go, Neuro, Wave, some of these others. Are they trying to it feels like they're trying to set up to kind of combat Tesla if they do come out with full self-autonomous driving here in the new future, because they've already got the cars. All they do is to flip on the software, right? So maybe that takes care of itself. But Uber still has the best platform out of all of them. Is Tesla doesn't want to get into that part of the business where they have to run an app for all their autonomous driving? Is that Uber's setting up pretty nicely for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Uber's the natural, perfect partner for any of these companies. I think it's really interesting that Elon Musk has said we don't need Uber. Uber could say back to him very quickly, we don't need Tesla, because right now you're running, supposed robo-taxis in geo-fenced areas of Austin with about 5 cars running around and only allowing your super fans to ride in them. So, I don't know who needs who, but I'm pretty sure that neither one is going to end up needing each other. And at some point, there's going to be a real battle for which app the customer clicks on in order to hail their ride. And I would say the best news out of all of this is that ultimately, I think the consumer is the one that's going to win in a big way. And we're going to see a massive shift away from, personal automobile ownership to truly an autonomous vehicle future where you're a few seconds away from a pickup at any point in time from a variety of competitors. And I think everybody wins in a really safe ride at that. So I think everybody wins from that future, and it's which companies are going to win along the way. There'll be multiple, because this is a 10 or 20x type of situation over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yep, getting rid of those drivers. Hey, bring it to Chicago. We need to hear it now. Yeah. That'd be awesome. All right, great stuff as always, Andy. Appreciate it.